Welcome to Coding with Tom. Today we will be implementing scheduling local notifications on device. The user will schedule the mocked opening time of the restaurant and will send a local notification when that happens. We will also be adding an alert to send the user to the settings when notifications are disabled. Our notification will have a custom sound, which is what the file that we are adding right now. Now let's create the notification service that we will be using through different use cases. Every time we schedule an occur notification, before doing that, we need to check the current notification settings since the user can change them at any time, or it's even possible that the user hasn't given permission in case of the first time. If the permissions are denied, then we'll just return false. If it's undetermined, then we will request permission. And if it's already granted, then we will schedule the local notification. All of the notification permissions are requested through the UN User Notification Center. It has a shared instance which we access through the current method. We request the authorization. The operating system takes care of displaying the alert and handling the permissions, and we just get a callback with the result of the operation. On this method, we will schedule a local notification, also using the UN User Notification Center. To schedule a notification, we need to create a notification request. The request requires content, a trigger, and an identifier. The content we're going to create it with the information from the restaurant. We're going to be adding the sound with the name of the file that we added in the beginning. And the trigger, it's gonna be, well, we're gonna be mocking that the opening time of the restaurant is going to be 5 seconds from the time the user taps on the schedule button. Then we just call the add method from the notification center, and the notification is scheduled. Let's move on now to creating the two use cases. One will be for scheduling the notification, and the other one will be to get the notification publisher. That is, we will be getting the identifier of the restaurant when the user taps on a notification belonging to that restaurant. Now, to show the settings view from the app, we're going to be creating a modifier. So every view that we add this modifier to will have the capability of showing an alert that will display two buttons. One will take the user to the settings of the app, and the other one is just a normal cancel button. Presenting an alert is just like the sheet. We need to have a binding variable, a binding Boolean variable, and that's what our modifier is going to require from the one that creates it. Our alert will have the title and message which are text. The primary button will be default with a text, and the secondary will be just cancel. Taking the user to the settings view of the app is really easy. We create a URL with a string. The string is the settings, open settings URL from UI application. We already got that for free. And then we use the shared instance from UI application to open the URL we just created. Since we are in SwiftUI, displaying an alert depends on the change of the Boolean variable that it's presenting it. So the handling of the Boolean variable will be done by the view model by calling the use case to schedule the notification, and we will change the value of that variable when we get a false value back, meaning that the user hasn't given us permission yet to schedule notifications. Since it's a published value and we're observing that, we will not be mutating that one. We will just create our own state in the view. When the value from the view model changes, we just change the state. This variable is the one that we're going to be passing on to the modifier that we just created. Now that we are ready to handle the different scenarios with the notification, let's create a toolbar in our view, and we're going to be creating it on the bottom, and we'll just add one button item where we will be scheduling the notification. Now we got that working. Notice that we had to close the app before the notification arrived. That's because right now we cannot display notifications while the app is active. We can override this behavior by implementing UN user notification center delegate. And then we can change this behavior and also react to the user tapping on the notification. That's what these two methods are going to do. Will be for letting notifications be presented even when the app is active. And here in the other one, the receive response, we're gonna be updating the publisher with the identifier that's inside of the notification. Let's try once more. Now our notification arrives. Now, one thing I was missing was calling the completion handler. This is very important because we're telling the operating system that we are done with handling the notification that arrived. Let's move on to presenting the detail of the restaurant when we tap on a notification. We're going to be presenting this restaurant modally for iPhone, we're going to be doing it from the tab bar view, and for iPad, we're going to be doing it from the sidebar view. So our view model will capture the identifier of the restaurant, and then we just retrieve the restaurant with our get restaurant use case and update our published variable. Since we are going to be presenting our restaurant with the sheet modifier, we need a new Boolean variable. The restaurant, we're going to be storing it in a state variable, and we just present the restaurant view. Again, because we have a published variable in our view model, we will listen with a non-received modifier. Let's try with this. Now we tap on the notification, and our restaurant is present modally. Let's add a navigation view. Let's embed the view in a navigation view so it looks nicer, but we're pretty much done with iPhone. Now let's move on to the sidebar and do the same on the sidebar view model. Because of the work we did for the favorites on the sidebar when we supported drag and drop, we already have most of the work done. We just need to create another Boolean variable with another sheet modifier. In this case, we don't need to listen to the onDismiss, but we will just be presenting another navigation view with the restaurant view. The restaurant is already in our view model, and again, we need to have an onReceive modifier to update the Boolean variable. And that was all for today. Supporting notifications in SwiftUI is not that much different. All the work that's needed in the views is just the alerts to display to the user, and then the sheet to present the restaurant in a model way. Besides that, all that was needed was implementing UN User Notification Center Delegate to manage the interaction of the app with the notifications. You liked it. Bye.